Result: Italy is a land renowned for its rich culture, storied heritage, exquisite cuisine, and unparalleled artistry. Yet, beneath the picturesque surface lies a complex economic framework, influenced by forces that often elude the average citizen's awareness. In the realm of documentary exploration, discussions frequently revolve around the roles of governments, banks, and multinational corporations. However, a critical question often goes unasked: who are the true owners of these powerful institutions? Who wields the influence that shapes the economic landscape? And how can a single family exert such profound control over the destinies of 60 million people? To grasp the extent of this influence, we must journey back over a century to a time when Italy was grappling with its identity post-unification. In this delicate era, formidable banking families strategically positioned themselves in the political shadows. Among these, one family emerged as the preeminent force, a dynasty that constructed its empire not through overt displays of power, but through an insidious mastery of control by owning the banks that financed Italy's progress, by steering the companies that forged its industrial future, and by backing the politicians who would ultimately guide the nation's course. This documentary delves into the saga of that family, the Agnelli family, widely acknowledged as Italy's most influential dynasty. While many recognize them as the proprietors of Fiat, Italy's emblematic automobile brand, fewer are aware that their influence extends far beyond the realms of automotive manufacturing. Their reach permeates energy, media, finance, defense contracts, luxury goods, and national politics. For generations, the Agnellis have been dubbed Italy's royal family, not by title, but by the sheer weight of their power. In this segment, we lay the groundwork for what is to unfold. This narrative is not one of instantaneous triumph. Rather, it is a chronicle of generational strategy where wealth is meticulously preserved and expanded with each new era. It is a tale in which influence is inherited like an estate, and relationships with political and economic elites are transmitted as if they were closely guarded secrets. Today, Italy's contemporary economy may project an image of democratic governance. However, behind the scenes, a select group of private interests discreetly shapes decisions, policies, and industries. At the heart of this intricate web resides a singular family whose name has become synonymous with the essence of Italian power. This marks the commencement of an inquiry into how one family subtly emerged as the architect of Italy's economic framework and why their influence persists with unwavering strength. To comprehend the remarkable ascendancy of a single family over Italy's economic landscape, we must journey back to the early 1900s. Italy, at this juncture, was a nascent nation, fragmented, impoverished, and grappling with the complexities of industrialization. It was within this pivotal context that a visionary entrepreneur, Giovanni Agnelli, established a company destined to alter Italy's trajectory: Fiat, or Fabbrica Italiana Automobili Torino. What commenced as a modest workshop producing basic automobiles for the elite rapidly evolved into a cornerstone of Italy's industrial revolution. Fiat transcended the role of a mere car manufacturer. It emerged as a national initiative. The Italian government recognized Fiat as a beacon of advancement, while the Agnelli family grasped a crucial truth often overlooked by many in the business realm. Genuine power is not derived from the act of selling products, but from controlling the essential industries upon which a nation relies. By the 1930s, Fiat had expanded its operations to include military production for the state. During World War II, the company was integral in manufacturing aircraft, armored vehicles, and engines. With each government contract, the wealth of the Agnelli family surged. However, their strategic significance grew even more profoundly. Italy's leadership understood that Fiat was vital for the nation's endurance. In exchange, the Agnelli family received privileges, protections, and influence that surpassed what ordinary business entities could ever aspire to attain. In the post-war era, Giovanni's grandson, Johnny Agnelli, elevated the family's status from affluent industrialists to revered national icons. charismatic, politically astute, and internationally respected, Gianni became an unofficial ambassador for modern Italy. Under his stewardship, Fiat diversified into sectors such as steel production, aviation, energy, publishing, insurance, and high-tech manufacturing. Factories sprang up across Europe, South America, and Asia, transforming the Agnelli empire into a global enterprise. By the 1970s and 80s, the Agnelli family had transcended mere wealth. They had attained an untouchable status. Their enterprises employed hundreds of thousands of Italians, with entire cities reliant on Fiat's factories. Politicians turned to the Agnellis for economic stability, recognizing that when Fiat faltered, conversely, when Fiat thrived, so too did the nation. The family had intricately woven itself into the very fabric of Italy, rendering their removal nearly inconceivable. At this juncture, the Agnelli family had crossed a significant threshold. They were no longer merely at the helm of a corporation. They had begun to quietly shape the nation's destiny. Through their industrial prowess, employment opportunities, and political affiliations, the Agnelli Empire had metamorphosed into a formidable force, wielding influence that paralleled that of a governmental entity. Result, in the landscape of modern economies, the intertwining of corporate power and political influence presents a compelling narrative, particularly evident in the case of the Agnelli family. As the owners of Fiat, one of Italy's most significant industrial enterprises, they wielded an influence that transcended mere financial wealth. They became pivotal players in the political arena. By the mid-20th century, Italy's leaders recognized that the health of Fiat was intrinsically linked to the nation's economic stability, and the Agnellis adeptly capitalized on this realization. Unlike many prominent families globally, the Agnellis did not seek to enter politics directly. They understood that their true strength lay not in public office or electoral campaigns, but in their ability to operate from the shadows. Their influence was cultivated through strategic alliances, financial backing, and an economic interdependence that made them indispensable. Regardless of the political landscape, the Agnelli family consistently occupied a central position within Italy's power dynamics. Political figures from prime ministers to ministers of industry routinely sought the Agnelli's counsel, recognizing their substantial impact on employment and industrial policies. With Fiat linked to hundreds of thousands of jobs, politicians were acutely aware that opposing the Agnelli family could result in dire economic consequences. Supporting them was not merely a matter of choice, it was essential for political survival. The extent of their influence became particularly pronounced during economic crises. In times of downturn, it was often the Agnelli family who engaged in discreet negotiations with government officials to secure essential bailouts, subsidies, or protective measures for their industry. Such agreements were not born from benevolence, but from a pragmatic recognition of the consequences of a failing Fiat, which could unleash unemployment, social discord, and political upheaval. Beyond their economic clout, the Agnellis also established a formidable presence in the media landscape. By owning major newspapers and publishing houses, they effectively shaped public discourse and opinion. The narratives surrounding political issues, national debates, and economic policies frequently aligned with the interests of the Agnelli Group. This media control was a strategic maneuver. By influencing perception, they fortified their political power. On the international stage, the Agnelli family further solidified their influence through connections with prominent figures across America, France, and the European Union. Their associations with influential families such as the Rothschilds and the Kennedys, as well as various royal households, enhanced their status. For foreign governments, alignment with the Agnelli family signified access to Italy's industrial. As the 20th century progressed, the role of the Agnelli family evolved beyond that of mere business magnates. As the world entered the 21st century, many old industrial empires collapsed or were forced to reinvent themselves. But the Agnelli family did something far more strategic. They transformed their traditional industrial power into a modern financial empire. The key to this transformation was a holding company known as Exor, one of the most influential and least publicly understood corporations in Europe. Exor functions like a central command center. Instead of directly running individual companies, the Agnelli family owns controlling stakes in multiple global industries through Exor. This structure provides two major advantages: privacy and power. While most Italians think of the Agnelli family only in relation to Fiat, Exor's reach is far wider and far more sophisticated. Through Exor, the family controls major global brands. Stellantis, the company formed from the merger of Fiat Chrysler and PSA, now one of the world's largest automakers. Ferrari, the crown jewel of luxury engineering. Juventus Football Club, one of the biggest names in European sports. The Economist Group, a globally respected political and financial publication. Partner previously a major international reinsurance firm. Each of these holdings gives the family influence over a different sector: transportation, luxury markets, sports culture, media narratives, and global finance. Unlike traditional businessmen, the Agnellis deliberately position themselves in industries that shape human behavior, political thinking, and economic trends. Exor's structure allows the family to operate above normal corporate limitations. If one industry struggles, another compensates. If a government attempts to regulate them, their multinational footprint gives them leverage. They can shift investments, influence supply chains, and even negotiate with foreign governments from a position of strength. But perhaps the most significant element of their modern strategy is the shift from manufacturing power to decision-making power. By controlling boards, appointing CEOs, and managing global expansions, the Agnellis influence not just what companies do, but how entire sectors evolve. Under the leadership of John Elkann, the new generation heir, the family's power has become more discreet but no less potent. Elkann operates with a calm, calculated, and almost silent approach. There are no dramatic speeches or public battles. Instead, decisions are made quietly. Acquisitions, mergers, strategic partnerships, each one strengthening the family's global position. Today, Exor is not just an investment company. It is the modern manifestation of the Agnelli dynasty, a silent empire capable of reshaping industries, influencing markets, and guiding Italy's economic direction without ever stepping onto the political stage. Result: today, Italy stands as a democratic republic characterized by elections, public institutions, and independent markets. However, beneath this contemporary facade lies a persistent reality. The economic pulse of the nation continues to be shaped by a private dynasty whose influence extends across numerous sectors. The Agnelli family, while less visible in the public sphere than in previous decades, retains a power that has evolved, becoming more nuanced, sophisticated, and globally oriented. Through Exor, their international investment vehicle, the Agnelli family operates on a level where national borders lose significance and their influence traverses continents. No longer reliant on political patronage or direct government assistance, they wield economic instruments that governments seek: employment opportunities, technological advancements, investments, and strategic international collaborations. This positions them not merely as business leaders, but as architects of Italy's long-term economic framework. Their interests span a diverse range of industries: automotive manufacturing, luxury goods, robotics, sports, media, finance, insurance, and technology. These are not arbitrary ventures, they form the foundational pillars of modern society. By strategically placing themselves at the helm of these sectors, the Agnellis have created a system where their decisions resonate with millions, from factory workers in Turin to investors across the Atlantic. The family's contemporary influence is bolstered by a currency even more potent than financial wealth: trust. For over a century, the Agnelli name has been synonymous with stability, prestige, and a sense of national identity among Italians. Governments recognize that the Agnelli network enhances Italy's attractiveness to foreign investors. International partners regard Exor as a conduit to European markets. Even among citizens critical of socio-economic disparities, there is an acknowledgement that companies under the Agnelli banner are integral to Italy's global standing. Yet, a crucial question remains unaddressed. Is it beneficial for a single family to wield such extensive influence over the trajectory of a nation? Some economists contend that dynastic control stifles competition and centralizes power within a select few. Others argue that without families like the Agnellis, Italy would face challenges in sustaining its global relevance. What is indisputable is that the Agnelli dynasty exemplifies a rare and formidable model of enduring private influence over a European nation. As we conclude this exploration, one truth emerges: Italy's narrative is inextricably linked to the Agnelli family. From steering industrial transformations to shaping contemporary corporate giants, they have not only molded the nation's history but continue to steer its future, often in a manner that is quiet, strategic, and largely unseen.